There she is, folks. The C750 in all her glory. Didn't get around to cleaning all the junk out of the interior yet. We got an old Pennzoil, like bleacher seat cushion. Probably for the seat over there that has a big hole in it. Random garbage in here. But the worst part is we had our little mouser friends in here and it stinks in here. So try to get all this crap out of here, vacuum up whatever we can vacuum up, and leave it open to air out a little bit. I hate mice and what they do to trucks. Made this truck stink really bad. And it smells like mice. So we're gonna get as much of this crap out of here as we can, and maybe toss some air fresheners in here when we're all said and done. Let it air out, thin out, and hopefully some of that stink will go away. This is the worst part. If you didn't see it in the previous videos, they chewed a big hole in the seat here, so all this foam probably needs removed and replaced. Probably a whole new bench seat before it's all said and done. Here's our clutch pedal, and this is our clutch master cylinder, and as you can tell, it's not doing anything. So yeah, maybe if we can figure that out, we can move the truck. Well, that's way better. Sucked up all the mouse house with the shop vac here, at least as good as we can. It's all piled up underneath the seat, all nasty, and looks like a brand new truck already. All right, inside the cab now that we got everything cleaned up. We're trying to remedy this clutch that does nothing. Obviously doesn't have any fluid in it, and why it doesn't work we're not for sure yet, but probably has a leak or a blown line somewhere. I have no idea what the correct way to fill this is. The internet said you fill it from the top, so if it's on the internet, it's got to be right. I was kind of thinking that anyways, because there's no reservoir or anything. Let me take you up here and show it to you. So here is the master cylinder. This is a clutch pedal. This has an actuator rod that pushes down the top, just like a brake master cylinder. There'll be a little piston in there, and then the fluid comes out the end down here. So I don't see any way to fill this. I thought about trying to fill it in here, and then I did research some forums real quickly, and they, recommended trying to do it up here. So we're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. So I bent this piece of aluminum to try to make a little slide here. And we'll make a really big mess trying to pour it in there, but this is the best I can do. See how it goes. One of those rubber flexible hoses you just screw on the end of a jug. Oh! Let's see what happens. Here's the slave cylinder for the clutch. This is a clutch lever, and there's a bleeder down there behind this hose. I want to see if we can get this socket on here and break this bleeder screw loose. That's surprising. Alright, now if we can just get her to gravity bleed. Now if we can just get fluid pumping through this and bleed out the air of this, maybe our master cylinder clutch will work. Well, our hose came off. That ain't no good. All right, everyone. I'm gonna put the ignition switch wire back on the battery. Hopefully I didn't burn up the points. I left it on for a little bit longer than I usually would like. But now we're gonna give it a go. Got the air cleaner on, fuel tank up there. We're gonna see if we can't make this thing move into a spot where we can clean her better. Yeah! Let's see if we can get it in gear with the clutch. Well, I think I see the problem here. I don't know if you see it or not. All that drips. That's the fluid from the clutch master cylinder. So we blew out a line up here somewhere. So that's clutch isn't working. Uno momento, bigger battery. All right, we tried to bleed the clutch. That just blew brake fluid all over. It was hopeful at first. It actually was working. And we were ready to fire up. It just all over. So I think the clutch master cylinder probably needs rebuilt, and or we need a new line from there to the slave cylinder. But right now what we want to try to do is get this old girl out of the weeds before people start posting this as the in the weeds group. Get it up here so we can clean the engine bay and underneath the cab and get all that grease and funk off of it. Just put a bigger battery in it. Let's see what she's gonna do. Probably shouldn't do this, but yeah, when in Rome. It worked. She moved under her own power. Isn't that awesome? Awesome. All right, now we got her out there. We need to bring her back. Oops, we need to bring her back. I didn't really think about it. I was a little worried that the brakes would or wouldn't work, but I didn't try them up here. I just pulled the ignition wire. It's not on the key because we got some wiring problems, so I have a jumper wire they have to reach over and get. Got my sweet Pennzoil cushion. That was part of the deal. Yeah. All right. This thing's, we've got about 40 mile play. That's still a forward gear. That might be fifth. That might be it. No, that's still forward gear too. Still forward. Maybe that's it. Let's see. There we go. So you needed to crank over a little. Let's bring her on back.
I am having way too much fun doing this. I'm gonna have to lubricate that throttle linkage because it's sticky. And then we're gonna come back and forth a couple more times. This is awesome. The spring return on the throttle linkage is broken. I actually stretched it a little bit more, broke again, but we were able to reattach it at a shorter link, and that should help us out. Obviously I have to fix that in the future with the new spring, but this is just too much fun. Let's drive this thing back and forth a couple times. The air brakes even work. Isn't that awesome? All right, we had a few technical difficulties there, but we were able to drive it back and forth a couple times. The throttle still sticks. If you didn't notice, we had a few hot rod moments. Good thing it's geared low, or we might have ran into something. Oh yeah, the C750, which we still need to come up with a good nickname for. Haven't got there yet. She runs, she moves under her own power. She went from over there to up there to back there to up there to almost ramming into stuff, and then back there, back here again. So safe to say that she moves under her own power. Really happy that we were able to move it around. I wish the clutch would have worked, but you know, can't win everything. Probably gonna have to rebuild that master cylinder and or run new lines from the master cylinder to the slave cylinder. I was hoping to get into the engine compartment, put some heavy degreaser on that engine and get all that smooth off of there that's been on there for who knows, 20-30 years, maybe more. But we didn't get to that tonight before it got too dark. Hopefully we'll get to that next time, or we'll get to that in the next clip in the video. I'm not for sure what we're going to get to this week. Awesome. If you like this old Cabover truck, look down the description section. I'll include the links to other videos. We also have a playlist that'll include all the other videos of this truck. She's a work in progress. We got a lot more work to do. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night, old girl. Just tucking her into bed tonight. She did a good job today, despite all my screw-ups. I think she likes me. Hey everybody, it's the next day if you didn't notice. If you're just tuning in, my name's Andy, and this is my Ford C750 we're working on. She was over there, and we spent a whole day yesterday getting her from over there to where she's at here. We just had way too much fun moving it back and forth. It's the first time it's ever driven under its own power. Pretty stoked. It's pretty awesome. Anyways, we have some more issues to work on, of course, and we want to get underneath there and do some degreasing. That engine has tons of grease and oil and dirt buildup, and we'd like to get that off of there so it's a little bit more user friendly. Stick with us, I'll show you what we're going to get into. Thanks to whoever commented that it's way easier to tilt these with at least one door open, and it's even more easy if you open both doors, so that helps a lot. Thank you. You can see that stent of the grease buildup. I mean, that is on there. Whole bunch of smew, just completely covering everything in this area. I don't betting this hasn't been cleaned in a few years.
And look at this lift arm. Transmission. There's about 2 inches of grease buildup underneath the risers of the intake. Take you around the other side. So there's just a massive amount of grease and nastiness built up in here. I'm gonna get a plastic bag for the air cleaner so we don't fill it with water.
Friends over at Super Clean were nice enough to give us a sample of their heavy duty degreaser, and it's really convenient because I was looking for a new engine degreaser. I haven't used anything other than Simple Green in the past, so we're gonna give this a try. I'll let you know how it works.
That is some thick grease buildup, boy. For the amount that we're doing here, we really need like a spray jug or like a spray can. Doesn't smell too hateful. Alright, you get the idea. I'm going to take this, I'm going to spray it all over the entire engine. Try to get wherever the grease buildup is on the bottom of the cab, maybe some up in there in the front suspension, on the front axle here and leaf springs. I'm going to let that soak, but not dry, while we're pressure washing some of this, and then we'll come up here and strip all that off. Got it on there as good as we can. Ended up dumping some of it in the valley of the intake there, and on top of the air pump here, because it is just so caked on there. We really need like a industrial size concentrate can and like a tank sprayer to hose this whole thing down, let it soak. We might have to do this a couple times. And the key here is the pressure washer will probably take most of it off, but the soap hopefully will get in the places that the pressure washer cannot access. Always prime your pressure washer before you start it. Wash some of that extra soap off my hands there. I'm gonna try to minimize all the dirt that my beard eats with the face shield. Let's get to it. do. Woo-wee, that was messy. I had to take off the swanky face shield and just use my safety goggles or my sunglasses here because I had so much crap on the face shield I couldn't see anymore. Now, I did clean some of the cab here just to see how she's gonna look. Took some of the black stuff off. I'm pretty happy with that. And it doesn't look, I mean, all that hateful. It is important to note, I did not use any of the heavy-duty degreaser on the painted surfaces, at least on the top side. I did use it in some of the fender wells, but the majority of it was on the engine and the transmission. Let's go take a look and see how it did. Okay. So if you can see here, the cylinder head and part of the block there is nice and clean, blue paint. I'm guessing this was probably rebuilt before up here, and I believe I got that coated pretty good. But back here, the pressure washer just wasn't really touching it, so I do think it helped in this region here. I probably didn't get enough in here because I could not break this stuff. Maybe that was just baked on more. So up in here, it's kind of hard to tell on the intake manifold. You know, like all these coils definitely had it on there. The PTO came pretty clean. Some chunks here. Shifter mechanism over there came pretty clean. So over on this side, the air pump, it has a lot of nooks and crannies and different surfaces. I did get that coated really good with the super clean, and I think it helped. But again, the extent of it is difficult to gauge because there's just so much smooth on here, and I really need an industrial size like sprayer to just let it soak. But I do think it helped somewhat. So there's all the schmoo that came out of there. I'm glad we put that cardboard down. Yuck. I think this is kind of the real test where you have like intricate moving parts and you cannot necessarily get in there with the pressure washer at all angles. It does look like it helped clean this off a little bit. And up in here a little bit in the back of the block, I think it helped clean out some of these cracks and crevices. Thanks to the folks at Super Clean for giving me this sample bottle to try on the old C750. I do think it helps in some of the crevice, cracks, nooks and crannies with the pressure washer can't get, but I need a whole lot more to actually really test it because this thing is just covered. Well, just look at all that nasty crap that fell off of here. So can I say it's a 100% perfect product? I don't know yet, but it did help out. Thanks, Super Clean. If
like the video of me moving this old girl back and forth and trying to clean some of the crap off of it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave all your questions and comments in that section below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We definitely have more videos of this old girl coming out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I gotta get out of here. I got probably like 3 more days of pressure washing to do.